Guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to be doing a very late January wrap-up. But as many of you know, I did have to take a few weeks off of filming for health reasons, but I am now back and playing a little bit of catch-up. So today I'm actually going to do my January wrap-up and my February TBR. I'm going to combine it into one video for you guys here. So I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible and show you what I read and what I'm planning to read in February. Okay, so in January, I ended up reading 6 things, and I did struggle a bit in January because that is when my health stuff started happening, and there were quite a few days there that I just was not able to read. I couldn't even sit comfortably and hold a book to read. So because of that, I did do some things on audio, but I tried the best I could, but I did get 6 books read. So the first one that I read this year is The Chain by Adrienne McKenty. And I'm not going to give you my thoughts yet because this is one of my 5-star predictions for this round. So at the end of February, I will share my full thoughts and feelings on this one. But I did end up reading this one first. And then I read one of my February arcs, which will be featured in my February arc vlog, which was actually filmed before I was not feeling well, but I didn't even have the capacity to edit and get it uploaded. So that will be coming very soon. That's one that's on the docket. Hopefully within this next week here, I'll have that posted for you guys. But I did read Back After This by Linda Holmes, and I will save my thoughts and feelings on that one too. But I did read it. All right, the next one that I completed is Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. This is by Elle Cosimano. This is book number 2 in the Finlay Donovan series, and this is going to be featured in a vlog because I'm binging this series right now. I'm still working on it, so I'm not completely done yet, but I did go ahead and read this one, and I really liked it a lot. I listened to it on audio, and it was a good installment for the series, so I enjoyed it. And then I finished Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This one I started earlier on in the year, but it took a long time for me to read it because this is like 600 pages long, but I really loved it. I really, really enjoyed this one. This is a fantasy book, and it is following a woman who is a thief, and she gets captured. Definitely a dystopian type of society where there's different wards, I think is what they're called, and she's living in one of the poorest ones, and just their living situations are horrendous and not humane at all. And she has turned to thieving in order to survive, basically. Like they can't even get clean water, and it's awful. So she gets captured, caught stealing, and is ultimately sentenced to death. But as her execution is getting started, somebody shows up, comes out of a pool. Okay, that's right next to where they are. And he takes her and basically rescues her and goes back into the pool, and they go to a different realm, which is the fairy realm, which she did not know existed. She thought it was all myths and legends and stuff, but no, fairies are real, and they have been existing for thousands of years. And that's where she meets the fairy guy. Yeah. And she is learning that she's capable of a lot more than she thought, and is ending up helping their situation in the fairy realm because there's a lot of turmoil happening. And she just happens to possess some skills that can help. So that's where we are with this one. I really, really loved it. I enjoyed every minute of this book. And book number 2 is coming out in November, so I will definitely be pre-ordering it and anticipating that one. But yeah, this is really good, guys. And then I read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. This is one that I listened to on audio as well. And this was for my book club, in-person book club, which I didn't end up getting to go because I was hurt. So I was in a little bit too much pain to be out and about. But yeah, so that kind of stunk. But I still read it. And I really enjoyed this one. This is following a woman who runs a podcast, and she has a chance encounter with someone else who kind of offers her story up for the podcast because she has a unique type of story and wants to kind of get it out there and share her story with the public because she thinks it will be helpful. And so you follow these 2 women as they're kind of navigating life together a little bit at this point, and you're trying to figure out what's actually true and what's not. It's very questionable. So, but I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And then, okay, Whew, this book. Okay. This is one that I was in the middle of when my pain started, and I was so mad because all I want to do is read this book, and I couldn't. I went a few days without reading because I couldn't physically sit comfortably and, do it or anything. I tried and I just couldn't do it. I ended up, I don't remember how far, I think it was more than halfway through it when I just decided I'm just going to get the audio because I need to know what the story is. And so I did. I downloaded the audio, and since I was more than halfway through it and I know these characters so well, it was fine for me to do it on audio. And when I could, I would follow along as well. Like I kind of had the book open next to me. So if I wanted to tab anything, it was right there and I could just do it. So I tried to kind of go along as I was listening to it. But, oh man. I'm not going to say much because it's the third book in the series. But I will say I cried. I think all of her book, every book that she's written has made me cry. Did I cry in Iron Flame? I might have. Yeah, this was so good. It was so good. Like, this is just 5 stars, hands down, like no question at all. I loved, where the story went. You got to see a lot more of this world, which I really appreciated. And I loved those parts. And I definitely shed a tear or 2, maybe 3 at one point. Yeah. And the ending, Rebecca, golly. And I know we're not going to get the new one until next year, at least, maybe even 2027, she said. So she's made no promises, which is good on her. Good on her for not making promises. But I know it'll be worth the wait whenever it comes out. Oh my God, this book, you guys. It was phenomenal. Okay, so these are the books that I read in January, plus an audio and a Kindle book. Let's talk about what I would like to read in the month of February. First up is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I'm currently reading this. I'm actually more than halfway through. And this is a buddy read that we are doing with Booklist Thursday. So Lindsay and I are both reading this, and we invited a bunch of people, anyone who wanted to join us, and we're doing that on Facebook. You can still join us. You have time. We have been doing some reading sprints, and we are going to do a live show for this on February 28th. Is going to be the live show that we're going to actually talk about it in its complete entirety. But a lot of people are reading it. Most people seem to be enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm really having a good time with this one. And yeah, so this will be the first one for sure. Okay, the next one that will definitely be read is In an Instant by Suzanne Redfern. This is my 5-star prediction that I still need to read. And Lindsay sent me this one actually. So I'm very excited to be able to read this one, but this will definitely be read. My Go with the Flow book for February is going to be It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. And I read Quicksilver for January's book, which is a book with my favorite color on the cover. And it's kind of like a bluish green, which is what I love. And then from there, I was supposed to pick a book that has author initials that are the same focus on the last name, but Callie Hart wrote Quicksilver and Colleen Hoover writes this one. So I got both of the initials on there, which was pretty cool. And this will finish up a series for me because this is the second book after It Ends With Us, and I still haven't read it yet. And it's not very long, so I know I can probably fly through this one. So I'm going to read this one for that. The buzzword for the month of February is water words. So anything that could have something to do with water. And I grabbed A Dark and Drowning Tide. This is by Allison Saft. So I was looking at tide, but my daughter pointed out, well, drowning too. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true, actually. So those are both water words there. But this is a fantasy book, young adult, and I really like Allison Saft. I've read her before, so I'm excited to read some more, definitely. She's an author I want to keep going with. And then I bought this one when we were in Kansas City on our trip last year for the BookTube Besties. So it'd be nice to go ahead and get some of those read that I bought on that trip. And this will not be fully read in February at all, but I would like to at least go ahead and get started, and that is Valor by John Gwynne. I am trying to follow along on the schedule for this one for the Catch-Up Book Club. And yeah, so I don't know that I will have this finished to be ready for the next live show or not, to be honest with you, but I'm going to try my darndest and see what I can do. I at least want to get started because I don't want to let these sit too long. But yeah, so I would like to get started on this one at least. Okay, that is it. That is what I read in January and what I'm planning to read in February. I'm already doing some reading. I've already finished a couple books, which I didn't even show here. So you'll see those in the wrap up later on this month. But yeah, so that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.